So Bitcoin is still at 95K, but there's been so much drama with these altcoins in the last couple of hours. We've had pumps, we've had big dumps, lots of flush outs, and now a little bit of stability at the moment. So we're going to take a look at this market because it's really starting to feel a little bit overcooked. But nonetheless, there's a couple of altcoins that might show signs that we could have a lot of upside still coming, dump or not. So there's lots to talk about here today, guys. I've got some absolute bangers for you. Let's get right into this. Guys, and remember, as always, hit that like, hit the bell, hit the subscribe. Ray is here. No rainbows anymore. It's just chart hackers everywhere here, but we'll get the rainbow back at some point. But how's this rainbow over here? I mean, revenge of the old coins. Look at this thing. IOTA is back again. I mean, it was H-bar the last couple of days. IOTA is absolutely killing it. I'm so happy to see Ondo, one of my favorite RWAs. That thing is starting to fly for us. So that's been an absolute banger for us over the last while. I see strength from Sui. We've got strength from Phantom. We are talking about that today. The way Sui and Phantom recovered after that sell-off, I think we need to pay attention and start watching these guys. Rune is back in the game. So you'll see a couple of massive movers and then a couple of like small ones around here. It's quite an imbalance at the moment between strength and the guys, you know, where there's less interest at the moment. But the big question today is, are we long or are we short XRP now? Okay, we're going to look at this XRP chart and we got to figure this out because we've just seen a 20% sell-off in XRP and then about a 15% pump immediately afterwards. Bull market vibes in the house now on XRP. So we're going to take a look at that guy in a sec for you. Okay, let's go straight into BTC. You can see my pussy bot there at the bottom, the Popcat 1 minute bot. There it goes. Obviously just doing something there for us. We'll have to check in if we're getting rinsed or if we're sending it at the moment. Okay, here is BTC on the 2 hour. Proper old school here for Bitcoin at the moment. Nice to see my 618s coming into play so beautifully. Look at this. We dumped today into our 618, 93,800. That is going to be your low support marker for the day. 93,800. What did we pump into? Bang, 618. I mean, it's 618 ping pong at the moment for BTC. So they're definitely back now, trading nicely here. So 96,500. That is going to be your upside level. You can see we are forming quite a thick band here. Look at this horizontal kicking in here on the 200-day MA. So that 96,500. That's a big one for us. Then I do have a fake out zone for us. This is this liquidity zone that I've taken from the heat map. So I've just placed it onto the chart for you guys to make reading a little bit easier. If we do get a hard pump, look for that fake out into that zone before the send lower down. So that is just something I'm a little bit cautious about to the upside there. This liquidation zone is from 97K to 97,800. Let me just show you what that looks like over here. Look at that nice thick yellow band there. That is easy liquidity for the market makers to go and chase. There's lots of shorts sitting up there and easy pickings for them if they do want to send that one straight up into that zone. So just watching that to the upside, and then levels to the downside we can watch. Okay, so we know our lows 93,800. Then we do have 94,700. You can see why this guy makes sense for us. 94,700. That is a zone of interest. That would be nice. Little higher low there, and maybe some action on BTC from there. So that is what you need for me for the next, say, the next few hours. Okay, if they are going to send us a lot lower and things are going to get a bit dark, we're looking at 93K. That is on the map for us. And then lower, 91K. So keeping it super simple here at the moment while we play ping pong. Okay, at ping pong in the market as a whole. So quite a brutal sell-off we experienced on these altcoins. So we're going to jump into XRP. Let's just look at this XRP quickly right now. I mean, if anybody was trading this thing, I was in this thing earlier today. Absolute flush out. This thing was pumping. Then they came down, and then there's a panic grab to grab the longs. Now we know we're in a situation here on XRP where the longers and the shorters, they're just fighting now. There's a big argument happening at the moment, and nobody knows exactly what is going to come next now. There's absolute mess with XRP at the moment, but I just wanted to give you guys a couple of areas here of interest. If we are going to get a short on XRP, I quite fancy 2.66. 2.66. That's an interesting zone for me. Look for that pump. That is VWAP. That is 618. That is trend. That is also some horizontal there. So XRP traders on the lower time frames, that is what I'm watching. 2.66. If we are going to get a short, I do like that region over there. That could be a little trigger for us. Then we want to send it down. I've got an absolute banger zone here for you guys. 2.09 and 1.9. These are my next bounce zones. These are my next reaction zones that I'd look for some action on XRP off those areas. So XRP, it's all happening today. And just to show you the size of this dump, I mean, this thing was insane. What did we get? 21% dumpage on XRP, flushed everybody out. Then what did they do? They flushed all the shorters out with a 14% pump. Basic bull market stuff here. We can't be surprised. Okay, we cannot be surprised. This is bull market vibes at its finest, at its authentic best. Okay, and just best we get used to it pretty quickly as we go along. And this just takes me to this important meme for you guys where it says, please take some profit, okay? And what do the hodlers do? They're tearing the shit out of this thing. What are the leverage traders doing? I can tell you what I did earlier today. I had a Matic trade, Poly, that I've been sitting in. You guys have been watching me in that Matic trade for the last 7 or 10 days. I finally took profit on that thing. We had a nice big pump earlier on Matic. And again, the rules of engagement here are when these things are pumping and you hit some good zones, take some profits along the way, because you get flush outs like we just saw today, and they come and ruin your day. They take all your gains. You'll get gains for 3-4 days in a row, and then you get one thick candle, you bang out stops, they kill you, they smash you, and then you're starting again, and then you are chasing. So remember my strategy here. Spot bags do the grind work, margin trades do the grind work. Then we have leverage setups where we have short-term moves. We want to scalp, we want to take profits quickly, and then we keep a few open that we build positions on, like I've done with Brett, AVAX, 𝗨, and Poly the other day, Matic, and then we let those ride. And then when we hit banger zones, we're taking profits. Okay, we're not getting greedy, guys. We need to keep that balance along the way, because this market can fall over at any time. There's not going to be a warning. They're not going to come to you and knock on your door and say, hang on, we're about to dump the shit out of this. This is what's going to happen. Wait, you're going to be feeling euphoric. Yes. Yes, sir.
They don't tell us. They don't tell us before they.
They don't tell you. So for all the new people here, they're not going to tell you. Okay, so you're going to be sitting in longs. You're going to be feeling euphoric. Things are cooking. Things are going nicely. Then you go to you go to the lounge. Then you go to the kitchen, and you come back, and you are rinsed out. They don't give you a warning. They just come and take you out. So I remind you again, leverage traders, take profit, take profit, take profit, okay, as much as you can. And FA2, he says, max pain yet. Look at this, $15.4 million in longs liquidated in the past hour. Now, that was early. That was at 4 p.m. my time, okay? So we could have had a lot more shorts now liquidated after that bounce. So the drama is on. And then Martin was warning us yesterday, open interest on all cryptocurrencies, what, 79 billion, okay? And just looking at the chart, I mean, you can see this is an issue, okay? When this type of thing starts happening, it starts smelling like we just need to calm down a little bit, okay? So it's getting hot, and we can see the fear and greed index is now at 76. So this is slowly starting to taper off a little bit for us. And, let's push this thing down. Let's get it out of extreme greed. We're still sitting at extreme greed. So we're still at these danger zones at the moment. And then yesterday, I was talking about 𝗏𝗪, and I just want to mention this thing again. This man bought 15,400 BTC again at 95K. Okay, he's not scared. But what I was saying is, isn't this an issue that this guy holds so much of the BTC supply? I mean, we're talking 2%, according to this chart here, that he owns 2% of the BTC supply. I don't know if that's going to become a problem later on in our lives, okay? But it's just something we need to pay attention to. And then here's the S&P, and I was a little bit too scared to short this thing. I don't want to stand in front of a freight train, but here is my target. We were waiting for this one, 6,000, for so long. And we are now at our 6,000 level, the 2.618 fib. We are finally rejecting at this area. So this is definitely something to watch now. And like I said yesterday, my strategy is going to be rather, let's try and look for longs on the next pullback on the S&P, because this thing looks like an absolute monster. So some levels for me on the S&P, 5,850. And a little bit lower down, we've got 5,780. Those are going to be my levels here if we do get weakness. Now, I'm not saying we are, but you can see we're getting a reaction there. If we do get weakness, those are going to be zones of interest for us where we can start looking for longs on Prime XBT. Now, remember, Prime XBT, you just send crypto, and then you can trade the S&P. You can trade oil, gold, silver, and those things. So I'm just waiting for the right opportunity here. And then we will crack on when it's right, okay? But I don't want to stand in front of this freight train. But just to remind you guys yesterday as to what is happening in the market, this is such bull market vibes. And that is exactly why we're getting these flushes on XRP. I showed you guys this tweet yesterday, and I just want to show you again for those that missed it. The search term XRP is more popular than the search term crypto. Okay, I mean, it's really at ridiculous levels now. And that is why we're having those fights at the moment between the bulls and the bears. There's big arguments now as to who's going to win this. Everyone trying to short or anybody trying to catch the last long here on XRP. But I do believe at some point this XRP is going to fall over and it's going to be rewarding. Okay, for anyone who can catch the short on XRP, I think there is a prize coming for us. So somewhere around 2 is probably going to be an area that we're going to watch. If we do dip into that zone, somewhere around 2. And then alternatively, look, if it gets really bad, we're looking at 1.33 on XRP. Okay, so just remember, don't think that can't happen. Okay, and then we can still have a pump after that, but they will flush out all the late longers. So I remind everybody, take profit, please. Otherwise, you're going to end up like this guy. And this is, in fact, how the XRP guys felt earlier today. And as they woke up, XRP looking bullish, breaking trends. What happens? Let's get in there, liquidated. Okay, that is part of the game. Bullish on that mess. Do you concur, sir?
I definitely concur.
Where are you now, Ray? Are you long or are you short? What are we looking at? Are you hunting a short for us on XRP?
I'm hunting the short, correct. I'm hunting the short.
Okay, I'm waiting to be notified. Okay, keep us posted there on when we're going to catch that one. Okay, so Benjamin Cowan had quite an interesting post today, and I want to bring this to your attention. Now, this year for me has been the year of front-running things. We front-ran October. Remember that? And then we dumped to hell. What else did we do? I think we front-ran the Trump pump. We front-ran a lot of things. And right now he's saying the last 2 cycles, BTC got a correction in January of the post-halving year. Probably worthwhile to be mentally prepared for a January dump. Now, are we going to front-run it? Are they going to come and end us in December? Because I can't see them ending us in December and then coming to end us again in January. I think they need to pick a month. And right now, if we look at history, 2017, 21, these are the times when we had the pullbacks, January, in these post-halving years. So now we are pushing January. Are we going to front run? We'll have to wait and see. But the signs are there. The warning bells are shining for us. And he's quite a nice guy to follow. Okay, I definitely recommend you follow Ben Cowan. He's got some very interesting insights there. And then BTC on the 3-day, guys, a reminder, this is my plan. Okay, I don't want to see much lower than this 87, 88K region. I think this would be our safest play for altcoin traders. We won't get that rinsed. If that is going to happen to us, that is going to be our most bullish outcome if we do get that type of play for us on BTC on the 3-day. But if they're going to end us, a reminder, 81.5, 77,800. We got that CME gap there, and then 72.5 on BTC on the 3-day. So those are the big ones you need to worry about. That's my bullish outcome. I would love to see just something like that. A little bit of altcoin pain. Let the stocks reset. Let the RSIs reset. Do these things, and then continue the send for us. Okay, and this is basically where we are right now, and just waiting patiently for that move. Remember, we've got a whole bunch of people trying to short Bitcoin at 100K. I still believe we are going to get pumped up through that before they come and end us properly, or before they send us lower. So that is my current plan still. I do believe we get that final hurrah before they come for us. Okay, let's talk alt season. Here's CZ reminding everybody that he thinks it's alt season. Okay, he dropped it on his keyboard here, and he says, which key is available on Windows and Linux? He says, but not a Mac. It's the alt button. Okay, for those of you Mac users, you don't know what you have. It's the alt button. And here's our alt season indicator. So altcoin season, according to this chart that we've been looking at, happens above the 78. Now, my only concern, and I spoke about this yesterday, is that seems to always be the top of an alt move. Okay, when we break through that zone, we get that final push, and then there's a bit of an end to it. So it almost feels like these alts, as you can see, have been running for this whole month, pushing this bar up. Now we're in that alt season zone, and for me also just starting to feel a little bit hot. And my sentiment still is that I'm a little bit cautious at the moment. I'm not getting too greedy here. We are not aping in spite of what we can see happening. And dominance is a big important one for us to pay attention to. And as you can see, we dropped our weekly. We've lost our major support, the 200-day MA on the weekly. Remember, dominance losing that 200-day MA is pretty critical for us. It's telling us there's altcoin strength for us, as long as that dominance is dropping lower. But we want to see this dominance close under this 200-day moving average. Now, we're only on Tuesday, and this is the weekly candle. So we really want to just see this push down into that type of zone, the 50.4% region. that for me is my next major bounce area for dominance. So as long as we're keeping below that 200-day MA, I would say things are typically okay for these alts. I'll bar a couple of flush outs along the way, but that is what we're going to be watching on the altcoins. And then our total 3, we looked at this one yesterday, and that is what I was looking at. We were looking at this rejection at the 1.13 trillion mark, which is what they've done now. And that was going to, well, ideally, that was going to coincide with that dominance bounce a little bit lower. So now this dominance bounce has happened a little bit early here for me, for my liking, but this is something to watch. This is a major rejection zone for total 3. Now, total 3 is the altcoin market excluding Bitcoin and ETH. So it's quite a telling, quite a telling altcoin indicator here for us. And we've got a big rejection now. And unfortunately, big support is it's quite a bit lower down. It's at 780 that we need to pay attention to. So that is quite a big dip that can potentially play out for us. And then also, if we take a look at our chart prime oscillators here, we are a bit overcooked. Now, it doesn't always mean typically we reverse in these areas. And I'm going to show you quite a few examples where you can still pump after that first print. Okay, so it doesn't mean it's guaranteeing that we are going to roll over, but it is telling us we are a little bit overcooked here at the moment on total 3. So these alts are a little bit hot. They're a little bit hot at the moment. And then my ETH BTC plan that we've been discussing for the last couple of days, is this now going to start playing out? We are rejecting at the 100-day moving average, and this is what I was looking for. So tying in with the dominance bounce, tying in with that rejection on some of the alts, are we going to get this move now for ETH BTC to really come and give us the entries that we want on ETH? Are we going to get ETH at 2,800 again if this thing plays out? So strategy on ETH, and I remind everybody, ETH traders, I'm still locked and loaded on ETH, but I am looking for lower. I'm looking for these dips, and you can see I've banged out the oscillator here. We've now printed our magical blue dot. That's quite a heavy reversal indicator here for us. We've also got our divergence that they've given us, and we've got a couple of sell signals on the oscillator. So that blue dot is quite telling. And when you get that, it's really starting to put pressure to the downside. So ETH, I'm a little bit apprehensive here on being bullish on ETH right now based on what I'm seeing, but I do have limit orders preset, as you guys know, 3,400, 3,200, 3,000. These are orders sitting, waiting for ETH. So we're just waiting for ETH to drop into those types of areas there and just give us a reset and then a nice little send there. So still long-term bullish, obviously. And I see Brothers wants to send us to 85K. I mean, it's going to hurt, bro. We don't have to go to 85K. We're going to feel a bit of pain there. And how's everybody feeling in the chats here? I see 𝗬𝗓𝗍𝗓 says that they're too choppy, rinsage everywhere. Guys, that is the feeling at the moment. So again, exercising caution. I can't stress this enough. There's always a time to put your foot down, and there's a time to be cautious. Even if you're taking small positions, just stay warm, okay? Keep it going, play the hot zones, but remember, when the momentum is back, you're going to know the momentum is back. Right now, it's particularly just a few tokens, and I'm going to be talking about some of these today that have been showing relative strength as well, and we're going to look at those. So obviously, follow where all the money is, follow where all the Bs are at the moment, and trade the breaks on those until they no longer are breaking out. Then they start reversing, obviously, and then we can slow down on those guys. So same principle here with XRP as well. And who's asking for a short-term trade? I might have one, unless we're getting absolutely rinsed here. And trend a man. Okay, I might have a couple here for you guys. Okay, there could be a couple of short-term trades. Let's see if we're getting rinsed here at the moment. So let's start with Fetch. Okay, now risky play. Okay, absolutely risky play. I've taken this in my Bitfunded demo account that they've that you get. So Bitfunded, remember guys, it's a prop trading account. They give you a demo account. You can trade in there. You've got to be quite disciplined with your stops and how you go about things. But it's prop trading, and they give you an account. You make 8%, 5%, then they send you real money, and then you keep 80 to 90% of the profits. So what I've tried in Bitfunded, now we're jumping around a bit today. I've got two entries here. I've got Arweave and I've got Fetch. Now, this is the demo account that I've got here from Bitfunded. Let's look at Fetch first. And you can see Fetch, I gave you guys my entries for Fetch yesterday. Okay, we didn't hit our zones. But subsequent to that, what happened today? We had a bullish pump on Fetch. Then we've had this pullback, and now we are testing our 618. So Fetch 1.8. Okay, interesting level for me. This is the risky play here. We're looking for that 618 bounce there on Fetch now. Okay, we're looking for that thing to hold. So I've got an entry there on Fetch at the moment on Bitfunded. But our hot zones, I'll remind you again, 1.65, 1.566. These are the hot zones that you're watching for a nice sell-off. Okay, we didn't get those entries yesterday. I still believe we can get those, but if this market's going to run and fetch is going to bounce, 1.808 is what you need to be watching. So I'm trading fetch right now. You can see there it is on Bitfunded. My stop loss is 1.77 at the moment on fetch. And then I've got 𝗬𝗓𝗡 trying to try this horizontal breakout. My stop loss is 27.3. Okay, in 𝗬𝗓𝗡, let me show you 𝗬𝗓𝗡 quickly, and we'll talk about this in more detail. But here it is. Okay, look at that. So 𝗬𝗓𝗡, what has it done now? This is 𝗬𝗓𝗡 on the 15 minutes. We've just broken the horizontals. Okay, this is proper degen stuff, guys. Okay, this is high risk degen stuff happening here in front of you. But what I like to see normally, you break the horizontal, you come back and you test that 382 or you test that 618, and then you send it higher. So risky stuff here at the moment. So 𝗬𝗓𝗡 27.7, you can use that, or 26.86, you can use that. These are the two zones you're going to watch. And right now I've got quite a tight stop on 𝗬𝗓𝗡. It is at 27.3. Okay, so if they want to come some rinsage, I just want to try and hold that 382 fib at the moment on 𝗬𝗓𝗡. And just to explain to you guys why I'm trying to do that, you can see 𝗬𝗓𝗡 was pretty bullish today. Okay, it was quite a banger today. It recovered really nicely after that dip, and that tells me there could be some more energy for 𝗬𝗓𝗡. And what I like to do typically when things are bullish and we get to these resistance zones, what you can do if you are still bullish is try and play the horizontal breakouts in those areas to try and catch the ticket for the next range trade. And the next range for me is 20% on 𝗬𝗓𝗡. So if we start consolidating around these areas, if you start looking for consolidation, then you play that breakout, you get that type of move. Okay, and that is what I'm looking for on that 15 minutes. If it's going to stay bullish, that's typically what we're looking for. We want that pop of the horizontals, we want the retest to hold, and then we want it to send. Now, on the downside, this is major resistance. Okay, so if you are aping in here, you are taking risk because we are at major weekly resistance now on 𝗬𝗓𝗡. So there are odds that any breakouts can fail, especially if the market is not supporting us. If Bitcoin is not holding well, then this is going to fail. And then we start looking at moves to the downside. Now, 𝗬𝗓𝗡 traders, your hot zone for spot and margin levels here, 25 and 22.6. Those are your hot zones. That is where you want limit orders sitting in case there is a fallout in the market, in case there is a dump. Okay, so I remind you again, 25 and 22.6. These are my hot downside zones that you want to watch if there is some kind of nuclear meltdown in the market. But for now, we can try and trade these horizontal breakouts. Okay, you can trade these breakouts till they no longer work. Okay, then once we reject here, then we turn bearish again, and we can let this thing start playing out, and we can wait for it to come into our basket. Or alternatively, when we get these pumps now, let's assume this thing rejects here and we dump hard here, then we get these types of pumps. Then we can look for shorts in those areas and then try and ride it down into those types of zones. Okay, so just okay, you guys understand the deal. And NZ Danny saying, yes, super disciplined in Bitfunded. Yes, they're very strict, guys. So you got to play it. You got to be smart about how you trade Bitfunded. You can't get that loose in there. And a good co's looking for some Myro and Ondo. Musa says Ondo triple top, guys. I suspect there's a couple of shorts brewing for us here, and I don't want to write off the potential shorts in the market for us. So let's go through some of our targets here. Let's go through some of our coins. And remember, I'm bringing you 3 tokens that are pretty hot at the moment, that there is news brewing or things happening on them, and they might be worth it. Whether we get a sell-off now or whether we keep pumping from now, these are tokens you need on your watch list. These are tokens I would suggest you need. If this market is going to stay bullish, they are going to be moving for you. So we're going to get to those now. Let's just go SOL, and just a couple of signs again for us on SOL that we are overcooked. You can see our oscillator looking a little bit hot, and the best case for me, some kind of reasonable pullback here, 200 and 190 on SOL. So no changes to my SOL weekly levels, 200 and 190. Then if we look at the degen situation, what did we get yesterday? I mean, it was actually classic TA yesterday. We got our bounce off our anchored VWAP, our 382. We banged into our 232 target. Look at that, straight into the 232 target, then a rejection on SOL. Okay, now we've printed a new low. And for me, this looks a little bit bearish now. And I suspect our next long trade on SOL, and I'm talking, it's a little bit degen, but the next big level for me, 197. Okay, that is going to be a dip into that zone. Look at this. I've got my 200-day moving average. I've got my anchored VWAP as well. And I've got a 618 in here. So if there is weakness now in the market, that for me is the leverage degen zone for Sol traders. 197, 198. Okay, that is where the degen step in. This is where you need to look, because I think that is where you get a sharp reaction on Sol. So if the market falls over here, looking for a sharp reaction, 198, 197 on Sol, it typically will happen pretty quickly as well. You'll look for a sharp dip into that area. So just have your alarm on, okay? Have this region ready. You'll look for something sharp into that zone on Sol. So just be ready for those types of moves. Let's just see the size of this thing. If it is going to start falling over here, let's just see typically how big this is. Yeah, that's quite nice. So Sol has been quite strong. So that's an 11% dip. I suspect other altcoins, they might get 15 or 20% to the downside, but Sol's been relatively strong. So a 10% dip, 11% dip, somewhere around there on Sol could play out very nicely. But that 197, 50-day MA, 618, anchored VWAP, horizontal, it's a level. It's a level to pay attention to. And I suspect, if we're getting that close to those levels, that's the no panic zone. That is where you start focusing and you say, okay, let's look at this thing seriously. Can we get some action there? 197, 198 for Sol. Okay, before we get into the three other tokens I want to talk about, there is news on AVAX, and you guys have seen AVAX showing a ton of strength at the moment. And I'm still riding this AVAX situation. So they broke, what, $50? Okay, they're up 110% for the month. And this is the AVAX banking chain. Okay, don't forget, there's a lot of things happening, and their mainnet is launching on the 16th of December. So guys are super bullish about AVAX. Again, it doesn't mean it's going to be immune to any sell-off. It doesn't mean it's immune to a dump. So we need to be prepared in all ways or in all shapes. But AVAX, I just want to point out again, if this market stays bullish, these are targets for AVAX. It's going to outperform the 2021 levels, in my opinion. So 100 is a target for me on AVAX. That is your first big one that you're going to look at, and going to take a little bit of patience. And then the upside, what are our highs? Our all-time highs on AVAX, 150. I mean, I actually can't believe that we saw those types of levels. But with what is happening with AVAX at the moment, if this market holds itself nicely, and I say we get a nice flush out and things like that, AVAX for me, it's going to be a trade. Okay, it's going to be a banger, and it's going to get some action. And yeah, Adam says huge AVAX highs, and yes, I agree. NZ Danny says so much fun incoming, guys. So much fun incoming. Let's just play it cool. Okay, let's not get rinsed in a bull market here. Let's manage our positions, manage our size, manage the leverage, and play it nicely. And remember, please just take profits along the way. And okay, so AVAX on the weekly, just to cover what I'm looking at here, we know we're super bullish on this thing. And you can see we've had some big moves here. And what I want to show you is right now we are at resistance. Okay, you can see 51.8. This was our weekly resistance band that we're paying attention to. So this zone is a hot zone for us on AVAX. That is a resistance. But now for support, what do we need to pay attention to? Key levels for me on AVAX, 46.5, 41.9. Okay, those are nice zones here for us. Nice pullback zones, limit order zones. Okay, be ready for those areas if there is a pullback. 46.5, 41.9, call it 42. And then I do have a weekly level a little bit lower down here at 38. So AVAX starting to look better and better as we go, and starting to look a little bit more appealing. So, okay, let's look at a couple of things going on here. Litecoin, I'm going to show you, I'm still sitting in a Litecoin short. I had to re-enter that short, and I'm going to show you the reasoning behind it and what I'm thinking. And then I've got XRP scalp long at the moment. I think we're going to get a short on XRP. Then you can see Brett. I'm talking about that next. Okay, so Brett is good, and running my Brett short to keep me balanced while we go down. Then we've got SHIB is still cooking. Where's our SHIB there? So SHIB is still okay. Okay, putting me under a bit of pressure now. We were probably $4,000 up the other day. Now it's 1.4. A Phantom, that's a scalp play. Talking about that today for you as well. Sui scalp play, talking about that for you as well. And then there's AVAX. Okay, so AVAX is up nicely. My AVAX short that I'm in is actually still red because AVAX showing super bullish signs here. Peppy, sweating a bit in Peppy. I've got that chart for you guys. We're looking for that right shoulder on the inverse head and shoulders. And then there's the Sol play at the moment. So no changes to that current situation there. Let's just talk Litecoin. Now, we touched on this as a potential big upside play yesterday. And I agree. I think there's big moves coming on Litecoin. But short-term pullbacks, just trying to have a hedge play. Now, it's hard to decide which is going to fire, which ones are going to explode, and which ones are going to fall over the most when the market falls over. But Litecoin, again, pushed into a nice area for us. Okay, it was a nice rejection zone, and it made sense. We've also got signs here on our oscillator that things are getting a little bit hot at the moment on the weekly. So Litecoin just looked like a nice hedge play. Now, I could be absolutely wrong and we could get absolutely smashed on this Litecoin short, but I'm playing it now as a hedge for me. And I wanted to give you a picture as to how this, what this can look like for you. So there's a couple of areas here now. So you can see I'm sitting in that short at the moment, but now we're watching a few zones. So the first one is this current resistance band we are sitting at here. That guy over there, 128. You can see we've got resistance now. So what did we do? We lost our horizontal support. We've pumped back into horizontal. And now hopefully for me, because I'm sitting in a short, we start rejecting in that area. Now, that is first prize for me on this Litecoin. This is 15-minute time frame we're watching. Second prize for me is we pump a bit higher. I add to the short position, 133, 134, and then we get our rejection to the downside. So that is my bearish scenario. That is my bearish plan on Litecoin. Now, the problem comes for me, and where I'm going to have to close this thing is if we start breaking through this horizontal and we start closing above that level, then this thing probably turns bullish, and I'm going to need to start cutting some of that position. So I'll cut the full position once we blow the all-time, well, not the all-time highs, once we blow these highs at 139, I'll be exited in full, but I will start cutting above this 134 zone. Okay, so that is my strategy on Litecoin. If the market starts pumping, Litecoin will naturally start pumping. And what does that mean? It means all our net longs are cooking anyway. We're making money to the upside, and we can cut a couple of shorts along the way. Remember, my short strategy is just a hedge for when the shit hits the fan. And like I said, we don't know when it's going to hit the fan, but what we all know is that it will at some point. Okay, and I just want to be prepared for those moments, and I want to constantly be looking for short setups. I want to constantly be looking for these types of movements for us so that we do have cover if the market falls over. Okay, so that is the game plan again. And yeah, you don't have to short anything. Okay, you can also just play the game where you take profits, you wait, you let it come back to you, you watch the hot zones that I'm marking for you guys, and you can play that game as well. Okay, so shorting, you know, it can get a bit hairy. So make sure you do have your stops. Make sure you do protect yourselves with risk. And before I continue, guys, remember, Chart Hackers Discord is live. Okay, so those of you that don't know, we are now out of Sniper Club. We are now in the Chart Hackers. So that is me, Chaos, DJ and Dave, Ray is in the house. We got the Chart Prime guys doing bots and automation, all those things. And remember, all the charts you see on the show get put into the Chart Hackers Discord for all the members there. So whatever you're seeing on the show gets slammed in there for you guys straight after the show, on top of everything, obviously, that we are doing in that Chart Hackers Discord. Remember, that Discord, you can go to it. Well, here is the link for it. Okay, it's powered by WAP. You can use the Black Friday code is still valid for you guys. You're still going to get a discount. You type in Black Friday. Okay, so go to the link in the show description here. Hit this guy, go under there, and you can see there's the Accelerator School. Okay, I'm going to show you that now. And then there's Chart Hackers, second from the top. Just click on Chart Hackers there, and that is where we are cooking. Okay, we had our welcome event last night. Absolute banger. The guys are fired up. The team is fired up, and we are here to trade. Okay, we are here to trade. We are here for setups. We are here for bangers, and that is what it's all about. So the setups are there in the Chart Hackers for you guys. There's the link under that description for you. Okay, let's talk some spicy things. So you've got my Litecoin situation, okay? And remember, bulls, Litecoin can be a long. If it starts breaking that, okay, there could be a long for some big levels for you guys. So if it starts breaking that 133, 134, there could be a long play coming for you guys. So play it, okay? Play it if you need to play it. That chart will be in Chart Hackers. Now, let's talk about Brett, and why do I have so much conviction on Brett? You must be thinking, why the fuck does this guy keep holding Brett? You've watched me hold this Brett token in quite a big size for probably 5 weeks, maybe a bit longer. I've been sitting in Brett, and every opportunity to close the trade and take profit, I've just opened a short at these big zones because I want to hold onto Brett as long as I can. And this tweet is why I'm trying to do this, okay? Base has 15 million users right now. 15 million users, Brett at 2 billion market cap. Coinbase aims to bring 1 billion users on chain. Brett is the number one on Base chain. If Coinbase reaches 20% of their goal, 200 million users, where does Brett go, okay? That is the question, okay? And that is what I don't want to not be around. I don't want to not be around to see where Brett goes, okay? I want to make sure I'm holding Brett. So right now you can see my conviction on this Brett position, and I'll show you again here, just so you can see the situation. So, I mean, I had a very nice Brett trade, okay? This thing hit $17,000 in profit on this weekend, but I decided to rather hold this trade and keep it open for some more action in case we get some kind of listing. So you can see I opened this head short. So I'm currently $48,000 in total long on Brett, but I've got a head short running now of $20,000 in case there is downside, and I'm going to use that to buy more Brett. Okay, that is my strategy. Okay, so I'm going to use it to grab some more entries lower down. If they want to send us down, I'm adding to this position. I want to be holding Brett if there is going to be some kind of Coinbase listing. So that is what we're watching at the. Excuse me, I'm still coughing a little bit here. So let's talk about let's talk about this Brett chart and what to expect. So you can see on the weekend, we had an absolute banger. Okay, we broke those highs, really looking good for us. Now we've had quite a strong pullback, but I think to be fair, it's to be expected. Now, I've got a couple of upside targets for Brett, and the first one is the 1.618 fib, that is 28, and then my other one is 417, 0.417. I honestly believe if that news plays out, we're going to get some action on Brett. It's going to be an absolute belter. So I'm looking at about another 120% here on Brett. So my conviction is I want to hold this thing. I don't want to be taken out of this, and I'm trying to hold it at all key levels possible. Now, if you are interested in getting involved in Brett and you want some action, what I can suggest here is play the big levels. Look how so far we're respecting these big zones. So you can see what happened. Our first sell-off that we had the other day, we hit our zone number one. Look at that. Zone number one was hit. Okay, that could have been a DCA zone number one. Then what happened? We had a sell-off today. Zone number two gets hit. Okay, that's our 618 fib. So watching these levels, Brett traders, 183. This is support number one you want to pay attention to. And then in fact, I've got a DGen chart for you guys. So let's watch this guy. Okay, so here is Brett on the 2 hour. This is for the DGens. Okay, so this is now a translation of this weekly chart. You can see we've broken, daily chart. We've broken the all-time high at these horizontals. Now we're zooming in and we're saying, what happens next year? How do we snag an entry if we remain bullish on Brett? So you can see what we've got here. We've got a rising trend in play. So we're going to use this rising trend as support for us. That is a support marker. Then we've got our horizontals in play here on Brett. So this is our 183 zone. You can see we've got daily horizontals. This is a big level for us. Okay, watch that area. Then we've got our anchored VWAP from the lows. Look at that reaction there. And we've got our EMA 50 on the 4 hour. Look at that. So what does this tell me? It tells me 183 is quite a strong zone for us so far on Brett. So any moves into that type of region, that for me is a buy zone here on Brett. 183 is what you're going to be watching. If there is more weakness, your next zone ties in perfectly with that 618 on the daily chart. And that number is 1686. Okay, look for that dip into that zone. Look for a wick into that area on Brett. And let's see the size of that. That's about a 10 or 12% move. So that's not a massive market sell-off. So remember, the market could sell off a lot harder than that, but that is a reasonable sell-off zone for Brett. And then if you want some other areas of interest here, if we are going to melt a little bit lower, you can play these lows. Okay, play the lows from this long consolidation period. Oh, these things are beautiful. I remind you guys again, if you see this in your tokens, okay, play those things. They're long consolidations, okay? They give proper explosive moves out of those areas. So your next downside level on Brett, 0.15, okay? 0.15. Those are the hot ones, 183, 168, 15. Those are your buy zones for Brett. Remember what happened with the other tokens. If there is a listing here or this thing starts cooking, it's going to absolutely rip. I want to make sure that I have a piece of that along the way, okay? So hopefully you guys will have too. Okay, just play the levels and play the hot zones. Don't go massive leverage here. Just play it safe until we have momentum again in the markets. But that is how I'm playing that. Then the other one for you guys is Phantom going Sonic. It's the Sonic boom they're all talking about at the moment. And the shit's going down. And you can see Phantom is super bullish at the moment. The guys are on Twitter now talking about some intense targets here. I mean, this guy's sending Phantom back to 3.3. Okay, that's 21 bull market vibes. And I can't disagree with that, man. Okay, I think Phantom is an absolute banger. Dip or no dip, I think Phantom needs to be in your bags. Okay, it needs to be something you're going to pay attention to. And what you want to be watching here to the upside. Now, Phantom levels 1.6. I believe 1.6 comes. We have already on the weekly chart, we've printed a new high. Look at that. So printed a new high. That's nice. That locks in 1.6 for me. That is my next target. We'll talk about 3 and those things. We'll have lots of time to talk about it on the way there if we are going to get those pumps. Remember, on the way to 3, there's going to be pain along the way. On the way to 1.6, there could be pain along the way. So what I want to just reiterate here is, before we get to 1.6, the market could easily come and sell us off into one of these hot zones here. 1.04. Watch that. 1.04. Watch that zone. That is a big zone for me on Phantom. We know, showing the relative strength at the moment, if we get a meltdown in the market, Phantom should recover quite quickly. So look out for a sharp buy of 1.04, and then a little bit lower is 0.85 for Phantom. These are where you need to have limit orders. These are where you need to be ready to strike if the market falls over. 1.04, 0.852. Those are my hot zones there on Phantom. And then upside is 1.6 is what I'm looking for. And then DGen traders, okay, look at this. We had a typical DGen play today. And Phantom, what did it do? It had a perfect pump. I just want to show you guys this move. All you do is you take your fib from the low to the high. This is the 1 hour time frame. Look at that. We took our fibs from the low to the high. What did it do? Typical bull market vibes here, okay? Rejection, bounce off the 382, and then an absolute send. Like, this is, it's a pleasure trading in these conditions at the moment with the market. It really respects this type of TA. When the volume's coming in, the other traders are coming in, it really starts respecting these types of things. So some basic TA working here for us today on Phantom. 1.17 was our support that we're going to watch now. So let's just adjust our fibs. Now remember, every time you get a new move to the upside, you got to bring your fibs higher. You got to adjust as you go. And you can see I've got an absolute banger here now for you guys. 1.12. Look at this. This is our 618 coming into play at 1.12 with horizontals as well. So that's a banger for me. And let's just see where our VWAP is going to sit for us. If we just drop it in here at the lows, let's see. Look at that. Okay, so we do have banger support here as well. So levels to watch for Phantom. Okay, big zones that I want you guys to pay attention to on the DGen time frame. 1.18, 1.12. Now, if we have a reasonable sell-off here in the market, that is the one that's going to take us to 1.6. Reasonable sell-off in the market. That is what we're looking at. If we have a heavy sell-off in the market, we've got to zoom out. We got to look at this 1.04, 0.852. Okay, that's the ones you need to pay the most attention to, depending on the conditions of the market. So DGen traders, you know what to do here on Phantom. That is going to open our trade to 1.6 if we can get that momentum going. And then the other one I've got for you guys is the Department of Government Efficiency. Now, we know it's been a little bit quiet the last couple of days, but Elon and Vivek will be addressing members of Congress on December 5th in Washington. That's in 2 days' time. Okay, is it time to pay attention to Doge again? And, is it something to watch? Well, Ali Charts tells us today, Dogecoin whales bought an additional 160 million tokens during the weekend. Okay, that's 160 million tokens. The price is 0.4. Okay, that's a lot of buys on Doge there, and maybe it's something to pay attention to. So you can see again, Doge respecting basic TA very, very well at the moment. Look at that beautiful 618 rejection there. So nice for us. Now, what I want to say here, Doge traders, this support 376 is still a banger for you. This is what you're watching over the next couple of days. 376. That is your big one. And then a little bit lower down, 313 is what you're going to pay attention to. 313 is what you're going to be watching. Those are your big Doge zones. Now, it depends on the sell-off in the market, depends on the pain that we get, but that is what you need to watch for now if you are looking for higher. And I do believe Doge goes higher. It's inevitable. It's just, how do we get there? And can we get there without getting rinsed along the way? And that is going to take discipline. That is going to take being greedy on your entries. That is going to take not FOMOing in too hard along the way. And also along the way, taking profits. Let's not get killed along the way here, guys. This is a bull market. Let's not waste our bullets, okay? Upside for Doge. Ray concurs. Upside for Doge, 100%. Okay, we go take out those wicks. Why won't we take out those wicks? This thing is looking more bullish than ever for us at the moment. And Harsh Rana says, what about a Pepe DGen play? Well, let's go back to poppies. Okay, we're gonna talk Pepe now. So Popcat Chaos was on the show yesterday, and we were talking about a Popcat reversal, okay? And this was one of the best performers in the last 24 hours. We had a 24 or 25% bounce on Popcat, and believe it or not, my trade that was under so much pressure has finally turned green. Okay, so we've got a $34,000 Popcat position here, and I'm geared up still. Okay, my view is not the same. My view is still the same. 1.01, I've got a buy order. 0.89, I've got a buy order. I've got a high conviction play here on Popcat, and I just want to show you that chart again. So if we do reject on Popcat, I'm not looking to exit. I'm not doing anything yet. I'm trying to build quite a nice big Popcat position, but it just shows you if you can ride out these trades nicely and the market remains bullish, that your fortunes can change quite quickly. Okay, so as you know, I've been trying to build this Popcat for quite a few weeks, and the problem or the downside is if the market turns absolutely dog shit bearish, then that strategy gets rinsed. Okay, that's when you lose a lot of capital. But if you believe that the market will hold and that you are biased and bullish biased, then you can play this game. And for me, I've chosen Popcat as one of these plays that I want to do it to. And, obviously don't do it to everything, because if it all falls over, then you can get rinsed. So just pick a few that you want to play this game on. And Popcat is one of them. So reason being 1.08, big support, down to 1.04, no changes there. Then lower down 0.85. Okay, so you can see I've got buys at 0.89, just above that zone, looking for a buy there, and ultimately want to see that area hold. If it doesn't hold, well, squeaky bum time, okay? That's another 39% dump for me, but I've got the orders there ready and waiting, and hopefully by then we'll have a $50,000 or $60,000 Popcat position, and touch wood, this thing starts pumping for us. And Marco says Popcat will pop this bull run. Look, I hope it does. I really hope it does. Let's see. Okay, so that is my plan. That is my plan on Popcat. And if you are up from yesterday, again, I remind you, there's nothing wrong with taking profits. I've just chosen this one in particular to try and grow the size. Okay, so it's my Popcat experiment, and you can trade it with me if you want, but you can see, it's up 1,000. It was up 3,000 earlier today, but prepared to ride this thing to the depths of hell, okay, for glory, okay, or not.
Or they could also win a big one.
Yes, you can win it. Guys, I keep forgetting to tell you this. This is important information. If you want to win a Bitcoin, okay, very simple thing. Make sure you are signed up with the links in the show description below for Win a Bitcoin. Okay, there it is. Go to Win a Bitcoin under the show. If you have Bybit, Blowfin, Bitcoin, CoinW, or Mexi, okay, then you can just go and guess the price of guess the price of Bitcoin. If you don't, sign up to one of these links, okay? Go to Banter Bubbles. Then you click Win a Bitcoin. Okay, then you guess the price of Bitcoin, what you think it's going to be on the 1st of January. If you get it right, you get 0.5 BTC. If you're the closest, you get 0.5 BTC. If you have taken 10 trades on one of those links, then you get a full Bitcoin as your prize. So all you need to do is guess the price. Let's see what's going on right now. Live predictions. Crypto Sniffer. That sounds a bit interesting. 131K. He's calling. Greedy. Okay. Greedy says 105. Will Moriarty. 114. Naz has 103. There's no bears left. Where's the bears, guys? There's no bears left here. Oh, here's a bear. Paul. Okay, Paul, 85. Smart man. 88. I think go against the trend. Everyone's calling 100 and something K. Why don't call 76? Okay, you know what? I'm actually gonna go. I want to go 76. I like the ring of 76 for BTC. Okay, we'll do this. I'm gonna call Bitcoin 76 on the 1st of January. Ray, is that high risk, bro?
A little high risk. 76 is a little high risk. I like it though.
We don't have to be super bullish. Okay, so guys, yeah, you know what to do. Okay, so win a Bitcoin there. Very simple. And while we're talking, I do have Peppy for you guys. I just want to remind you again, my school, the Trading Accelerator, my first workshop is in 1 day, 20 hours. Guys, I'm there for you guys. Anybody that signs up on the school, we've got the Chart Prime guys coming in hot for you. I'll be there. We're going to show you all the shit that you've learned in the course. We're going to go through that in the workshop. There'll be questions, answers. You'll have time with me, and we're going to absolutely nail it. So I'm really looking forward to it. It's my first school workshop, absolute banger. And if you want a piece of the school, like I said, there's a link in the description here under the show for you guys. Come and join the school. Okay, come and take part. Learn about how I trade. Learn about my hot zones. Learn how to include this with oscillators, with chart prime indicators, those types of things. And then as a cherry on top, bots and automation, we are bringing that in hot in chart hackers. And you can see here's my bots. Okay, active bots, hunting new bots all the time, and my cusp bot's doing things, my Soul bot's doing things, my Mu bot is doing things, my 𝗬𝗎𝗓𝗍 bot is not cooking at the moment. I got to fix that one. But, having a lot of fun here trading with some of these bots. So there's a lot going on here, guys. And make sure you get involved, okay? Let's go Peppy. And this was my idea from yesterday. So keen to see if this is going to play out. Looking for an inverse head and shoulders, okay? Simple game plan here. If we get this dip now for Peppy, 185, look for that move. 185, look for that. Bang. Okay, simple trade here. Easy invalidation. So I'm going to look at pressing my Peppy position. 185. I'm going to add some more in that zone. If we lose, in fact, let me give you these levels right now. Okay, if we close under 182, I'm going to cut the position. Okay, now that doesn't mean it doesn't bounce a little bit lower down. There's multiple areas where it can bounce, okay? But at some point, as a leverage trader, you got to decide where you're wrong, okay? And you got to decide what that level is. So if you're trading small positions, then what you can do is ladder in there, ladder in there, ladder in there. Okay, that is one of your strategies. Alternatively, if you're trading this Peppy on a bigger size like I'm going to be, then 185, looking for that bounce. If I close under 182, I'm just going to cut the trade. Okay, I'm not going to sit around waiting and wondering why. I'm just going to cut it, and then we'll look for new entries tomorrow. Okay, so that is my strategy there. So 1858 entry, cutting 1822. Okay, if it doesn't work out there, what you typically want to watch. Okay, so this is what you want to see when the price is dropping into these types of zones. Okay, you want to watch it move into the area. You want to look on a lower time frame, 15 minutes, that type of thing. Look for that reaction there. Look for the stop hunts, and then you're going to look for that little breakout on those lower time frames. Okay, that generally gives you your move. So you get your reaction off the area, then you look for those breakouts and those types of things where you can start adding to those positions. I see Tron is ripping. Isn't that because he ate the banana? The man ate a $6 million banana. Okay, the guy bought a banana for $6 million or whatever it was, pulled it off the wall and ate the banana and said it was a tasty banana. I mean, did you see what he did, Justin Tron? I mean, that is one way to get attention. I mean, it's a very expensive banana though. Crypto Genie, whose priorities are off? Talk to me, bro. Talk to me. Whose priorities are off here? Are we having a debate in the chats, or is he having a debate with me? Let me know, sir. Let me know. Matt sending Bitcoin to 74,800. That's quite dark, bro. That's pretty dark. Okay, guys, don't forget, our entry. We're still waiting for our entry. Okay, let's be patient. 5683 for that is what we're looking for. 5683. No changes there. That is our hot zone number one. If that area doesn't work, let me give you a banger. Okay, next zone that you're going to pay attention to. Look at that. 50-day MA coming in hot for traders. Here's our 50. Okay, look at that. And that is going to be 0.495. So ideally, we get the reaction at 565. Okay, 565 is what we want. And then a little bit lower down, you're looking at, call it 50. Okay, 50 on the button there. And yes, Bitcoin gets briefly caught up in Seoul, South Korea political strife. Guys, yes, I actually should have told you about that. There's some martial law going down in South Korea, and the price of Bitcoin on their exchange went up to like $130,000 or something crazy at the moment. So there's a little bit of political things, and we know like 𝗏𝗏𝗏 and things like that in South Korea, they do affect the market a lot. So, that could have obviously played a part in the current Bitcoin price action that we have just seen. Okay, playing out for us there. Okay, guys, what you can do for me, everyone in the chats dropping. So, Adam says 𝗏𝗏𝗏 has been suspended. I mean, guys, this is proper. Okay, that can obviously affect the market. A big part of the market is the 𝗏𝗏𝗏 traders. Guys, what you can do is after the show, drop the tokens. I see you guys are dropping tokens now in the chats. What you can do is after the show, please, and then we can put the tokens together. Ray looks at them for me, and then we pick a few and we stick them in the show. You'll note that a lot of the time, if you drop tokens in the comments after the show, you'll see them on my show the next day. Okay, so just make sure you're doing it after the show for me, and it's a lot easier for us to manage that process. Dan wants CAS. Let's give Dan a quick CAS. I'm so bleak, guys. CAS. Because I dropped that CAS trade in Chart Hackers today. I dropped the CAS setup and I missed it. Let me just find my CAS chart. I missed. 𝗬𝗎, have we covered 𝗬𝗎? Right? Did we cover 𝗬𝗎? Guys, okay, no. 𝗬𝗎 bullish. No. Okay. Guys, 𝗬𝗎 looking bullish. Okay, we've already got our first bounce at 3.53 today. So now we have to adjust our fibs. Okay, so 𝗬𝗎 traders, just want to give you new levels. Anybody trading SUI? So big trend break here for me and looking bullish. So quickly level for SUI 3.6 and 3.44. I'm long SUI at the moment. You can see we've broken trend 3.6, 3.44. That is what we want to do. Okay, you can see our oscillators pointing up. Okay, might be some bullish signs still for SUI, might be a little bit more in the tank here for us. So 3.6, 3.44 SUI traders. And then let's just find CAS. I hope you haven't got the wrong chart here. Let's see where it is. No. That's, wait, I've got to find the right one here. That's the bigger picture chart. Let's look at the lower time frames. There it is. Okay, so this was the chart I dropped in Chart Hackers earlier today. So this is our 4-hour CAS trade that we were looking at, and this is now obviously zoomed in. That other chart you saw was the weekly on CAS. So the idea that I dropped in Chart Hackers was to pay attention if we lost this rising trend. What we were looking at 147 to 145, that type of zone. Why was this a hot zone? 786 fib, 100-day MA, anchored VWAP. Okay, and the thing that I've noticed with CAS, and you guys probably noticed this too. When CAS falls over, fuck me, it falls over, but it recovers super fast. They always come and buy it very quickly. And that happened so quickly, I missed that entry, unfortunately. But that setup was dropped in my channel in Chart Hackers earlier today. And it just all unfolded so quickly, I missed the entire buy and the entire move. And just a reminder why these hot zones are so powerful. Look at that. You move into the hot zone, you immediately get a 5.5% bounce. It's like a free gift when you ping those types of areas. Okay, so just, you know, keep practicing these hot zones, keep cracking on with those. But CAS traders 147 to 145, that is now your support to watch for now. Okay, there's no new trade here unless you're looking at shorts, because now we are at resistance. Okay, so there is a potential short now on CAS. We are back at the 200-day MA. So remember, I shorted it at that 200-day MA. Where was it? There. We caught that move down, then they pumped us back. Okay, then they rinsed us. Now we are back testing the 200-day, testing the trend. Might be a short opportunity here on CAS. Resistance is 155, okay, is what you're going to be watching. And Yalom says, build that Popcat. I concur, sir. I concur. We're going to build that Popcat. They send me to 0 or they send me to Valhalla. There's no in between. Okay, there's no in between. They can come for me on Popcat. I'm going to fight them to the very end. Okay, guys, thank you. That was great as usual. I'm still a bit sick. My voice sounds a bit wrecked. I'm getting there slowly. Hang out with us in Chart Hackers. We'll see you guys tomorrow, same time, same place. Trade safe. Catch you later. This market's wobbly, proper wobbly.
This Litecoin is looking